It's just you and the car.
The adrenaline just kicks in.
Everything just falls into a rhythm. Well, I started in karting when I was 6. I was karting till I was about 10, and then we hopped in the buggy for about 2 years and then jumped in the rally car, and we've just been doing that since.
I got introduced to motorsports by my uncles. They first did like all the rallying and stuff, and then they asked if my pop and I can come out and watch, and yeah, I just got drawn into them doing it.
I think it's brought Sal out of her shell a little bit. I thought she'd be very slow and steady, but she took to it like a duck to water, and in no time flat she was sort of giving the car everything it had. So it was really a case of getting her behind the wheel just to learn car control more than anything.
Toby and I went to Team O'Neill in, he was 11 I think, a couple of years ago. And
yeah, it was really fun. We learned heaps, the whole basic techniques of how to drive a car and get it to do what you want it to do. The braking techniques and the gas and when to apply it. And then how to link up all of that with your steering to get the car to move where you want it to move.
They held up a steering wheel and they said, "What's this?" to the class, and everyone went, "Oh, it's a steering wheel." And he said, "No, it's a suggestion wheel." And it's the best thing we've ever heard, and one of the best things we've ever taught Toby, and the best thing for anyone listening is that they use their feet a lot to rotate the car and to get it to go.
I think waking up every morning on a race day is just so good to have, and it gets me really excited because I'm like, oh my god, I get to go lunatic around the yard and stuff today. When you're turning the corner, you get to feel the weight of the car, and it's actually really fun because you're like, oh my god, I'm taking all this weight on, and I get to go around corners and stuff. My biggest mentors have definitely been my grandfather, because without him I wouldn't even be here, I wouldn't even have a car or anything. Because when I first started, he came in the car with me, and yeah, he would sometimes do the handbrake when I couldn't do it.
My biggest mentor is my dad. He's taught me heaps. He was the one that taught me how to drive, and he's done most of the work to get us where we are today.
The Gold Coast Tweed Motorsport Club, they've been very supportive, particularly with a young female with an interest in the sport. They've really taken a shine to Sal, and everyone in the club has certainly tried to help Sal out wherever they can. They give her a lot of encouragement, give her a lot of advice.
At the start, it did scare me a bit because I'm like, oh my god, so many boys around, what am I supposed to do? Well, they're way more experienced. But yeah, as time went on, I realised they're not really that scary, they're actually really supporting. And yeah, that kind of helped me a lot because I'm like, oh, he's really nice. And yeah, I definitely get a lot of tips from them.
There's a lot of life skills that you have to learn, not only in the racing itself, but also the interaction with people in the club as well, other competitors, officials. You need to show officials respect, and that's a lesson that you have to learn along the way. So yeah, there are some great life skills to be learned competing in motorsport for sure.
So I think in motorsport you get all the ups and downs that come with racing. Yeah, you meet different kinds of people. Sometimes you win some and you lose some and you have to bounce back. Really for us, it's not about winning everything, it's about spending time as a family. And I remember Toby sort of saying to me his favourite part of the weekend was staying up and looking at the stars, with us, and that was really cool.
At the end of last year, I had the opportunity to go over to Finland. It was just sort of like a test to see if I was good or not and if I could go somewhere in the sport. So the snow and ice, it was the same sort of texture because the ice is super hard, and we had studs in the tyres, which made it a lot easier to stay on the road and just keep the car where you want it to go.
Yeah, we had a little incident in Finland. It was a little off and just brushed a bank, and normally that just sets the car in the right spot and you keep going, but this one had a nice giant boulder in it.
I hit a rock, but Because it was all snow, it just looked like a soft snowbank. But there was a rock hidden in there and we went from like 120 and just hit the rock and did like a nosedive. But that's probably the only crash I've ever had.
We weren't really worried about him being injured. It's probably just the first time, and how would he react and how would I react. Basically, the crew we were with just said, "Welcome to Finland." And that was...
I just felt sorry for the mechanics because the car was pretty stuffed. Yeah, it was amazing. Like, it was probably the best experience I've ever had in my life.
I was just like tearing up. Couldn't believe it, how much he'd learned and how far he'd come even in that short period of time. And
that's probably the main thing, because it's like a bookmark in my career, because that's like where I can say like where it all started and like pretty much where I like took the first step towards the actual WRC. It's just always in the back of my mind, like I just got to work to get there.
I definitely want to get more advanced in my racing.
She's really enjoyed what she's doing, and she's keen to take it that next step further. And
someday come near the Speedway or doing the Dakar Rally.
And sort of work her way up through the ranks and potentially even rally car or off-road sport of some kind.
The advice that I'll give to young girls is don't let anybody tell you what you can't do.
And definitely keep telling yourself that I can do this, I'm capable of doing this, and just always push hard and do your best.
My biggest advice is just don't give up. Always have the dream in the back of your mind. Every day just think what you can do better to get closer to that dream and work towards the main goal. I like the idea of there only being one world champion.